And hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Dad's Turn to Talk. I am your moderator tonight, Josh. And before we get started, I'd like to let everyone know to hit that subscribe button and to also to let you know that we have time stamped the podcast. And so if you want to go to a certain area, feel free to do that. Anyway, tonight I'm joined by my two guest co-hosts, my two buddies. Let's get started with Bob. Bob, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I can't complain. My whole circadian rhythm is thrown off because you're having us do this a day early.
I know. I apologize, but next
No,
week we'll
actually,
be
I'm
back.
doing well. I'm just getting ready for some time off. Here in a few days, I start a week vacation, so that'll be nice.
Oh, that'll be very nice. Any plans?
Nah, it's a staycation.
Okay, very cool. And my next co-host, Mr. Derek. How's it going tonight, Dereko?
It was fun until you pulled the shenanigans that you did with this rework.
Really, it's affecting you this much?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, now you have a Wednesday night free.
You're missing the point completely, yet again.
All right. Well, I guess I am. Well, we're going to have a really good show tonight, a very fun show, kind of a blast from the past type of show, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and get started with our first topic. Bob, go ahead. Wow. So we are going to cover the latest episode, episode 5 of The Penguin, which aired on Sunday night on HBO Max. And my God, gentlemen, this show just keeps getting better and better and better. What an amazing episode. 2 weeks ago, we talked about how it centered on Sophia and her past. And this week, it brought us right back to the Penguin. And I know some people were a little worried. There were some rumors that they thought it was going to be a bait and switch and it would be a Sophia type of show from here on out. No, not at all. They continued the story. Let's go ahead with you guys. Derek, let's start with you tonight. What did you think of this episode?
We need our spoiler warning here.
Real quick. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
That's right. Big spoiler warning here. So Derek, talk to us, buddy. What do you think about this?
So it was nice to see Oz get his comeuppance from his story.
Yeah.
We've mentioned previously, I think we made a comparison, like it's got a Sopranos feel, this show. You know how I know it's a lot like the Sopranos now?
Huh.
Because the main character's mother is awful.
Yeah.
She is garbage. She is a rotten soul. I don't know who that old actress is, but she deserves a round of applause for just being that despicable of a human being. So I love the fact that we got Oz's story, and now you come to see that the reason they're going so into the stories between these two is because you want to see them collide. You want to see them finally have it out. And this episode set that up beautifully. I wasn't expecting, to hear, Oz have two brothers that aren't with us anymore. I was not seeing that coming at all. Yeah. And so nice little surprises all the way through. I used to think the cliffhangers before were good. They've gotten better every episode, and this is no exception to the rule. So I cannot wait to see what these last three are going to deliver, because I have a feeling they're going to be better than even what the first 5 have been. So I can't wait. Even more excited.
So good. Bob, what do you think?
Well, as usual, I think the show is hitting it out of the park. What I liked is just the way it started. Starts off by picking up from where not episode 4, but where episode 3 left off, where you see Oz and Victor getting away. And I like how they linked it up with the ending of episode 4, in that they're watching the news report and they see that all the people have died, And I thought it was so good how it was done. And Oz, he's like, oh yeah, boo-hoo, they're all dead. He's just like, whatever. And he shut the TV off. And he's like, she did us a favor. They're all gone. So
Yeah.
Also during the scene where they show Sophia walking out of the house and she's trying to explain to the cops exactly what happened. I thought it was very interesting. Just a little tidbit here that they brought back in, one of the actors who played the chief from the Batman, brought him back in. So I thought that was kind of cool. Just overall, this show is great. The stuff that Sophia was doing to Johnny Vitti, I'm like, wow. I mean, this is like something out of Saw or something like that, where we're just sitting there torturing him, pouring the water on him, making him freeze. Okay, not like Saw, because it's not like gore. But my point is that she's got him like chained up and stuff like that, and
torturous.
Yes, and she gets him out to give her all the funds and help her get a new crime family going. And as soon as she doesn't need him anymore, bam, she knocks him off. Just matter of fact. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really cool.
He was bugging her. To be fair, he was just constantly bugging her.
Yeah, well, you know it was coming.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I like what they did with Maroni. How you see the Penguin turn around and kidnap his son, and he uses that to try to get the drugs back. And he ends up burning the son and the wife alive. I'm like, geez. And that ends up leading to this alliance that Sophia has to have in order to expand her empire. So she has this alliance with Sal Maroni. And so I thought that was just really cool. I liked the storyline with the mother, as far as that she had dementia. You saw the signs and stuff. And I mean, you've been seeing it throughout the show, but it just to actually see it put into practice, that she was off in the room while, something was on the stove burning, and, things like that. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. As somebody who works with dementia patients, that was something I could appreciate. And just overall, I once again, it's a top-notch episode. I can't say enough good things about this show. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go now.
Got it. I thought it was amazing. How I told you earlier, Bob, that I couldn't hear the part, I said about Oz, when he went to stab Maroni and he said Oz is this one's for Oz.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard, I think, the other part either about the brothers. That's actually when you guys I guess I had couldn't hear that.
She mentioned it to
Vic.
To Vic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, the episode, the way now that Sophia comes in and talks to Maroni and says, we have to come together. And now she's not using the Falcone name anymore.
Yeah.
Now she's, it's her mother's maiden name? Is that what it is?
So in the comic, apparently, it's a name that she marries into.
Okay.
And we found this out because if you watch the afterwards stuff, they tell a little bit about the episode, and it was she married into that family, so she was actually Sophia Falcone Gigante or whatever. But what they did was they changed it for the show to where that was her mother's maiden name, and so she's using the name Gigante. I thought that was a fine touch to that because you can tell she's trying to stick it to her father.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was kind of cool.
I was telling Bob earlier, Derek, this is such a different Penguin than we've ever seen before. Now he let them burn and he loved doing it. And I don't know. Bob says no. I want to get your opinion on it. Is he bipolar at all?
No, he's just rotten.
Mm-hmm. He's just rotten.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be, right?
Right, but he changes it up at times where you
No, he's a vicious gangster. That's what he is.
Yeah. He has moments of lovable qualities.
Yeah.
Like moments. little moments.
Right.
But he's the protagonist, so he has to have that. You
Right,
kind of
right.
have to root for him. But
Like-
at the end of the day, he is a ruthless gangster.
If you ever watch The Sopranos, Josh, you'll get an idea of why, or not why, but how he's kind of portrayed. Because you got like in The Sopranos, you got Tony Soprano who's living this everyday life with his family.
Yeah.
He's got his wife, his kids, but behind the scenes, he's running this mob family and
And he's vicious.
dealing with anxiety and all this other stuff. So, but the point is, he's trying to live like this normal life, and in a way, the Penguin kind of does that too. He tries to have this normal relationship with his mom and whatnot, but yet he's a ruthless killer. He'll do what he needs to do to get power. That's what his motivation is. It's to increase his standing, increase his power. You get from some of the earlier episodes where he talked about that, like that one gangster that he kind of admired that they had a parade for.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he was seeing for himself, you know, in the first scene, or not the first scene, but in the first episode when he guns down Alberto Falcone because he was making fun of him.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got a real chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I like the way he's portrayed. Yeah, he's not bipolar or anything like that. He's just a
Vicious.
ruthless killer.
What do you
Like
think?
he's the type of character. He's not going to go to Arkham. He's not crazy. He's going to go to Blackgate.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And you, Blackgate prison.
What do you
No.
think of oh god, what was I gonna say? It was about I lost my train of thought.
I'll say one more thing about the Penguin.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Penguin is the brain of Bruce Wayne inside a villain. He wants to build an empire.
Yeah, I could see
And
that.
He will do anything. He will use every ounce of his intelligence in order to help build his empire.
And he's got something going for him, is that because of his disabilities, the way he looks,
Mm-hmm.
all of that, everybody kind of looks down on him and they don't give him any credit.
Right.
They underestimate him, and
Mhm.
that's what allows him to do what
You can do.
he can do. Like, what was it that Sal told him? He's like, "There's nowhere you can go where I can't find you." Didn't he say something like "you're burned" or something like that? And then he's like, "Oh, speaking of that, why don't you call your wife and see if she
Yeah.
answers the phone?"
Yes,
Oh.
that is made. Where did Vic take his mother?
Back to the area where he lives, because remember, he was looking out of the window and he says, "I used to live right over there."
That's right. Okay, so he doesn't.
And it makes sense that they wouldn't look for them there because there's still the area is so damaged from the floods.
That's right. That's right. But did he tell Penguin where he's at, or he didn't even tell Penguin?
No, the Penguin just guessed and showed up there for no reason.
Yeah, right.
The Penguin just looked on the map and said,
Right there.
Of course he told him, Josh.
Well,
No,
what's
no, no,
funny?
but okay, go ahead, Derek.
I was just saying, what's funny about the Penguin is that Bob's right. The other criminals do look down on him.
Yeah.
They then underestimate him. Batman does not.
No.
Batman knows how dangerous he is, and gives him the courtesy of knowing that he's a supervillain.
Yeah. No, definitely. Where do you guys think the show is going? From we're obviously how many episodes? It's 8, and we're at 5, 6.
Yeah, we got
Three
three
more.
more to go.
We got 3 more. Where do you guys? Where would you guys like to see this go,
Ooh,
Derek?
Go ahead, Derek.
I know this ends up in a showdown between
The two families.
Sophia and Penguin. I know it ends up there, but I mean, I really have to believe that Sophia's going to get iced. The Penguin has to live on.
Right. That
So,
would be-
and he has to, and honestly, I could see him wiping out everybody. Everybody on, like, it doesn't matter what family you are, Maroni, Falcone, he just wipes them all out and takes everything.
But isn't there more to the story about Maroni based on the Batman? Wasn't there something really?
Not really,
big about
because
him, or no?
in the Batman, he had been running like the drops and stuff, and he had the rivalry with the Falcones. Carmine turns like evidence and stuff like that against Falcone. Remember, he was, I mean, not Falcone, against Maroni. Remember, they referred to him as the rat. Turned out he was the actual one informing on them. And so they were able to get rid of Maroni, and Falcone just came in and took over the drops distribution and all of that. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, or at least where I'm thinking that it's going, I'm hearing rumors. Sorry, I didn't get a rumor warning together. But I'm hearing rumors that Sophia is going to have a role in the Batman 2. Okay. Now, here's what I'm thinking. Ooh. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is going to come to a showdown between Sophia and Penguin, but I don't think either one's going to come out on top. But I wouldn't be surprised if Maroni gets it and the Penguin takes over that organization, and we're left with Sophia and Penguin warring with each other when we go into the Batman 2. Because remember, the Batman 2 is supposed to only be like a month or two after this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're saying that the Batman 2 is supposed to take place in winter, just real soon after these events.
Okay, well, obviously then I start thinking Mr. Freeze, but I don't think that's going to happen.
So,
well, that's what but that brings us to the point. Now that this show is so well done, just have the Penguin be the villain. He's too good.
Well, he's supposed to be in it, so
he is in it.
That's why I think that's why I say, if the rumor's true that Sophia is going to have a role in the Batman 2, it would make sense that her and the Penguin are still warring with each other, and somehow whatever mystery the Batman has to figure out somehow gets caught up with those two warring families.
Let me play devil's advocate, gentlemen, here for a minute. What if it was the complete opposite? If this show had started before the Batman,
it wouldn't have worked.
Derek's idea would have been, I think it could have been a great movie based on what Derek just said about the Penguin. And it's like, it throws me off because you might be right, Derek, that the Penguin could be the villain. But the fact that he was already in the Batman and then done, I don't know. I don't think I could. Well, he's in there, but I don't think he's the main villain of the Batman.
But that's what I think he should be. I don't think you need any other villains. I think he can do it just fine. I think by the end of by the time the show ends, we will believe that all you need is him as a villain.
Bob,
you don't need another.
I don't think he will be the main villain of the Batman 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's the main villain of the Batman 3. Because they do say this, they want this to be a trilogy.
Okay.
But what I'm thinking is that the Penguin will have a role in the Batman 2 similar to what he had in the Batman 1.
Okay.
Where the Batman is trying to figure out a mystery or whatever, and the Penguin is somebody he comes to information to for, and is somehow involved in it, not because he's directly involved, but he's indirectly involved. That's what I'm thinking. Now, again, I could be wrong. This is just an opinion where I think it's going, and I'm basing that on the fact that Sophia supposedly has a role, and if that rumor is true, then I can't see her beating the Penguin and him beating her at the show. I wouldn't be surprised if Maroni gets it. He gets off, the Penguin takes over that organization, and the two families are left warring with each other. And that's where the Batman picks up in the middle of this gang war that's going on for power. And whatever mystery it is that Batman has to solve is happening in the middle of that.
That's where I'm leaning towards, kind of towards what Bobby's saying, Derek. I think that we have this fight like you said, we're going to have the fight with the Penguin and with Sophia, but I think Maroni gets canned, especially if they're both in the second Batman.
I mean, Sophia has now become such a powerful character that I don't think. I do see how she could live through this and keep going in the movies.
Yeah, I kind of want her to.
I'd love to see an interaction between Batman and her.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That could be
Well, there's
very
so
interesting.
who have we talked about who the villains are supposed to be in number 2? Do they not know yet?
They haven't said
They
yet.
know, we don't
Okay.
know. It's
All right.
been
We do know Colin Farrell's coming back, and we do
Right.
know that Zoe Kravitz is rumored to come back.
Because you saw
And
the Joker like kind of at the end there, the first one. So the
I did
Riddler's
not. I
not
think it's
dead
the
yet.
Joker. No, I don't think it's the Joker. I think Bob and I talked about it. The early rumors, and boy, we need a rumor thing here.
We'll find one.
From what, and like I said, from what people have said in the media was Mr. Freeze, because like you said, Derek, it's supposed to be in the winter, or
Mhm.
Bob said that. And then Bob, was it you that told me? And if you weren't, I apologize, but Clayface, was that a rumor?
no, I didn't say that, but they are saying. Did you guys see the trailer for Creature Commandos?
Mm-mm.
The first DC project that's coming out, the one by James Gunn. They released the trailer at New York City Comic Con.
I
Yeah.
gotta write that down.
Okay. Yeah, check it out. But in the trailer, there's a small clip where Clayface is in it.
Really?
Mm.
So maybe, because remember, this James Gunn universe that they're building is all going to be linked from TV to cartoons to video games to movies. They're all going to be intertwined
Is
with
it
one
an
another.
animated movie you're talking about, or
No,
is it
it's going to be an animated show.
okay?
But like it looks kind of like Suicide Squad as far as that it's going to be these violent like ragtag group of characters, but they're like monster type characters. And Amanda Waller's supposed to be in it. It's funny because I think she's like one of the only actresses that made it through the purge of when they got rid of all the actors from the DC movies, but she made it through. So she's going to play Amanda Waller again, even though it's not linked to the other films.
They love her as Amanda Waller. Good God.
Well, she's good. I'll give her that.
Wait, is Viola Davis gonna play her again, or
Yeah, she's playing her again.
Viola Davis is coming back again.
good for her, man.
I like her. There were things, I did not like, as you guys know, Suicide Squad, either of them, but there were things about her that it was not bad. She played a great part.
Yeah, she plays it well.
I didn't like the first one at all. The second one I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
As far as I liked the characters, but I just didn't like the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
better
it was-
performances. Better performances. Yeah.
It was that movie had the best of James Gunn and the worst of James Gunn both in it at the same time.
The one here who could write Suicide Squad is Derek. I'm curious what he would, because Bobby and I always talk about my opinion on what it should have been, what his opinion is of what Suicide Squad is. I'm curious what Derek thinks.
See, here's the thing. If you take probably about the first 20 minutes, I want to say, of the first Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
I think it actually starts off right.
Okay.
I think it goes in a good direction. It's when they introduce that Mayan mummy girl that's where things go off the rails.
Right.
And it didn't help that there was basically two different directors.
No,
Because,
it did not.
Yeah. David Ayer with his movie had the same thing happen that Zack Snyder had with Justice League.
Yeah.
So
Right. Because Derek, I always told Bobby that when it comes to Suicide Squad, you need to have a threat that is so dangerous,
So
that
awful.
you have to have that's so awful, right? That you can't have superheroes try to attack it. You need villains who are willing to kill and do anything possible.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that is.
Well, that's so there's a couple of different ways you could actually go about that too.
Yeah.
Technically, the Joker is a villain of the Suicide Squad.
Right. Oh,
So,
the
yeah.
villain.
Well, yeah. How do you think Harley? Finally, what ends up happening is that Harley Quinn ends up turning good, but she's still in love with the Joker, right?
Right. That's the madness.
But eventually the Joker just wants to, he's ready to take his girl back and just off all her friends. And she's like, "Can you not do that, please?" And he goes, "What are you getting emotional on me for? Getting mushy about them?" And so then that's how the war starts between the Joker and them. And the Joker is a menace to society. I think that would actually be pretty interesting to put them up against the Joker, because Batman doesn't do killing. He doesn't do that.
Right.
That group doesn't care.
No, and
Let
that's
me
what-
real quick. Let me just correct myself real quick. Yeah,
Sure.
it didn't have two different directors. What it was is that the studio interfered a bunch, and that changed the entire vision of the film.
so
because they
Ayer
wanted-
was
Two
still
different
counted
directors.
as the director, Bob?
Yeah, he, as far as I know, he was still the only director, but the studio
Okay.
kept interfering and wanted all this different stuff thrown in. They might have had somebody come in to fix up the things, but as
No,
far as
I
I know,
thought-
Ayer was credited as the only director.
I thought they had one director that filmed the whole thing, and then another director that like did a bunch of editing on it. But maybe that's what you're.
That's probably what I'm
That's
thinking
not
of.
Yeah.
Rogue One. That was like Rogue One that happened, right?
Don't know.
Well, that was with Rogue One.
Yeah, I don't know if that happened. I don't know. It's because they are always talking about the David Ayer cut.
Well, it's because he's saying that that he made like a different type of movie, and that the studio wanted more hit music and comedy and all that stuff, and so it ended up being a very different film than what he actually made. So I don't know if maybe they had somebody film other scenes, but as far as I know, Ayer was the only credited director on it.
Got it.
So
All right. Well, going back to the Penguin, do we want to say anything else about it, or
Give me episode 6
yeah, I can't
now.
wait. Can't wait.
Good grief.
How a
Is
show-
this the first show that we've done like all the way through? Where
I think so, because it's
Yeah.
one that we're actually enjoying. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
wanna
we
talk
we,
about
we didn't do the Acolyte all the way through, but we talked about it because we talked the first 2 episodes, and then we talked the third and the fourth when we had Lily come on, and then we
Right.
talked the finale again as that it was just garbage. So
we haven't gone through episode by episode. I think this is number 1. So
No, we've
yeah.
never done this.
yeah. So folks, watch.
and the
Yeah.
thing is that we would have more shows that we would do this with.
Yeah.
But because they don't have Marvel or Star Wars on them, Josh won't watch them. So
You know what? No. Hold on. I'm watching a new show on Netflix right now
Which one?
that we should cover. The one I told with Adrian Brody and Kristen Bell about he's a rabbi and she's a non-Jewish girl and they fall in love. Derek, it is so hysterical. We were watching
Okay.
it a little earlier tonight. Bob, I think you would love it. And it's just, we're in the pilot episode and we were laughing. It's such a good show.
I'll give it a watch. That guy kind of annoys me.
He's talking about these people falling in love, and that.
No, but I'm
and-
telling you,
and that
it's so
hysterical. It might be, but I'm sitting here in my spare time. We're watching The Penguin, watching Tulsa
Which I am.
King.
Oh, there we
watching,
go. There
we're
we
watching
go.
shows that put hair on your chest. So
Oh God.
He's going to
Um,
save his emotional time for when he goes sees Wicked. So don't worry, that's coming up.
Exactly.
I will say
all
this. Irene really wants to see that, and after the second trailer, I was somewhat interested in it. So
When's the
the
date?
more
November
the more I
15th?
hear about it, the more I'm interested about it. Except until the actress who plays Elphaba decided to get all butt hurt here recently. I don't know if you guys heard that
I heard.
controversy.
Yes.
Oh, I did not hear. Do I want
Okay,
to hear?
so essentially,
read it on
they
my
tried.
app.
They did a version of the original Wicked
Heard the
poster.
movie. Yeah.
Where they tried to recreate it, but in the original poster, like her eyes are covered
Yeah.
and whatnot. So in the new version, she the hat's higher, her lips are a different color. So somebody went with AI and did another version of the poster that is closer to the original, same actress and everything, but they covered her eyes and gave her red lips. And she just flipped out, saying that how hurtful it was. I'm a person. You're destroying me as a person. Stuff like that. It's like, no, they didn't mean anything by it. It was just they're trying to recreate the original poster because they were a fan of Wicked.
I just would have
Well,
said,
you-
"Hey, you better pay me for that." You could have
Yeah.
used my likeness.
So but despite that, I still do want to go see the.
By the way,
movie. So
going back to James Gunn, you guys heard that somebody did an AI Superman trailer, and people thought it was the real trailer.
he did announce that a trailer's coming soon.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, somebody else had, I forgot what it was, and they did it, and he said, "This is not the trailer."
Well, no,
he
here's the thing about AI though. AI is very creative in many ways. You can still tell when stuff is AI though.
Yeah.
It's not, it's
Oh, yeah.
not fully translatable over into like,
I agree.
something like fully human made. So
Yeah.
if I saw that, you could probably tell right off the bat that it was AI.
I'm trying to just look real quick how it came about.
Mhm.
I believe it was on Superhero Hype, and it
Somebody posted it.
Yeah, they make all sorts of fake trailers, man.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
I
it was probably a very convincing one that people thought it was real.
it was streamed during a new segment on French state television channel France 2, and it was
That's how you know it
Right.
wasn't real.
and they were talking about the Superman Christopher Reeve story. Did you see that, Bob?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I was
thought you
gonna
Heard it's
go.
very good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. I was gonna go
Yeah.
and I just didn't get a chance to. So at this point,
No.
I'm probably gonna wait for streaming
Got it.
because
So
I've
anyway,
got other stuff that I gotta go see and review.
got
So
it. All right. Well, Penguin, we can't wait for the next episode. All right, Baba, let's go on to our next segment. All right. So as you know, for the past, what would you say, guys, about month, we've been covering underrated movies.
we did 2 weeks and then
No, we
somebody
did
wanted
two,
to
and
wait.
you stalled.
So let's be honest.
Okay. Well, anyway, Bob had a great one in terms of the Legend of Zorro.
No, The Mask of Zorro.
Or
The
The
Legend of
Mask of
Zorro is the
Zorro.
sequel.
Oh
which
yeah, that's
sucks.
Mask of Zorro. Derek did a movie I had not seen, and thank God I got to see it. Face Off. Oh my God!
You're
Even
welcome.
standing in line at Charlie's School today, I said I saw it, and everyone was like, "Oh my God!" Like no one says anything
It's
bad
so
about
good.
that movie.
Still out of control. It's great.
So yes, it took me 5 weeks, 10 weeks, I don't know, to decide on what I wanted to do. And
No, you decided right away. You just
That's true.
you just asked us to wait.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Tell
And
everybody
wait,
the
and
truth.
Wait and wait.
So mine was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which came out, God, in 1989. I was telling Bob, Derek, earlier today, I had not seen that movie in so long.
Yeah.
Like, I remember more Bogus Journey than Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, but my God, does it hold up? Yes. I laughed. I thought it was fantastic.
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves, I told Bob this story, and then I'll let you guys talk. I said, imagine if you've only seen Keanu Reeves in Speed, Matrix, and Constantine, and then all of a sudden you see him in this and like Parenthood. You would never believe it's the same guy. That's
No.
how insane it was.
It does a good job.
But anyway, Bob, talk to us first here. What did you think? Does it hold up? How did you?
Yeah, well, of course it holds up. This is a great movie. There's no other way about it. This is a great movie. This has, well, it's very much a product of its time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It is still though absolutely hilarious because these two are so dumb, and yet they're supposed to save the world. And it just some of the stuff they say is hilarious. Like even from the get-go, like what was it? Like they're arguing right at the beginning. He's like, "Ted, we need a triumphant video." Or no, he says, "We need Eddie Van Halen to be on guitar." Yeah. And then Ted's like, "But we need a triumphant video to get Eddie Van Halen." But how can we get Eddie Van Halen when we don't even know how to play? Which is why we need a triumphant video. Which is why we need Eddie Van Halen, And so they're just arguing with each other. But I just think it's good, so cool. It starts off, introducing Rufus in the future, saying that, hey, there's these two great ones. They're running into some trouble, so I got to go back and help them. and you see what the problem is pretty quick, that they're failing their history, and that Ted is, if he fails history, is going off to military school.
Yeah.
And his dad is like happy to send him to military school. I mean, he's ready to push him out the door.
Yeah.
So I think that's hilarious. The interactions in the classroom were hilarious, where they say, Ted, who's Joan of Arc? Noah's wife? And then when they try to BS their way as the instructor's telling them that they're failing, before you say anything, we just want to say thank you for all the stuff we've learned in your class. Well, what have you learned? We've learned that the world is full of history. He's like, it's thanks to great leaders like, and he looks over at the board, Genghis Khan, Socratic method.
That is so funny.
So, you know, the lines in this are great. They continue all throughout the movie. We'll get to, I'm sure we'll get some more of those in a minute. I love the fact that Bill's stepmom is like 4 years older than them. Like Ted's like, do you remember when he's like, you remember when we were freshmen and she was a senior?
Remember when I asked her to the prom?
And I love it because the dad, he's like all old, and they're like, we're about to fail history, and he sees the wife. Good.
That's good. That's very good.
And then he opens the door, closes the door on them.
He closes the door on him so he can get her on. And Ted's like, now your dad's going for it in your own room, dude.
Oh my god!
And then as they're going down, he's like, "Shut up, Ted." But your stepmom is cute, though.
Shut up, Ted.
So yeah, it's just great throughout. Some of the scenes that they do, where they meet up at the Circle K with Rufus, and he's explaining what it is that they're gonna do, and they run it, or they meet up with future versions of themselves. We didn't believe it when we were you, and we usses are saying what we usses are saying now. You know?
God!
It's just great. It's really a simple story. It's just them, you know, trying to pass history class, and they get this idea to collect all these figures and say and show them around San Dimas, and they can say what they liked about it. The collection of characters that they get is great. The what they do in the mall is hilarious.
The mall's the best.
I'll let you all talk about some of the characters, but just from top to bottom, this movie is fantastic. And before we close out on this topic, I want to say a few things about the sequel as well. So we won't talk about the third one because that's garbage.
We haven't even seen it.
I know it's garbage because they retconned the sequel, and you retcon the sequel, it's going to be garbage. Actually, I've heard it's a decent movie. It's just I've refused to watch it. I've just refused to watch it because they retconned part 2, and that really upset me. But we'll get into that in a minute. This Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is fantastic from start to finish.
All right, Derek, go for it.
Sounds good to us, Mr. the Kid. It's what Bob said is echoed here. Okay, true story. I remember I can't remember what movie we were seeing, but we saw the trailer for this,
Really?
like before the movie, and the theater, the audience was laughing at this. They're like, "There's no way this can be real. They're not actually going to make a movie like this." And sure enough, they show coming soon, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, we have to go see that."
The music at the beginning is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everybody is like, there's no, like, they couldn't believe that anything like this was going to be made, and thank God it was, because it's incredible. If you are a fan of '80s movies like all of us are, you're going to have a ball with rewatching this one. I cannot remember the last time I saw a phone booth. I cannot remember that time.
Right? Yeah.
I was sitting there watching that, and I'm like, when was the last time I even saw one of those things?
Oh my God. Yeah. Payphones and phone booths.
Yep.
I don't
Then the
really.
garbage antenna on top of it, like just this ridiculous
And they
piece
all-
of trash.
They all fit in there. This movie just, like I
Yeah.
said, it was amazing. It was, there were a couple of them I was thinking about. Derek, I don't know if I had told you. My first one was Kingpin.
With what? With
That was his first choice.
That was my first. What I was thinking about was Kingpin. I could not find it on
Oh.
streaming though. It was
Oh,
not
God.
available on streaming,
It's tremendous.
right? But I could not find it on streaming. So I'm looking on Max, and what happened? I don't know. I accidentally pressed B or something, and Bill and Ted's came up, and I was like, "Oh, I got to see it."
That's fair.
It's been
Yep.
so long. I got to watch it. And I wasn't sure if you guys would be like, okay. But then when I said what it was, you guys are like, oh, yeah. Because I remember Bogus Journey more than the original one.
I watched Bogus Journey maybe one time, and I didn't have it. I'm like, no, first is better. Sorry. Not
Bogus Journey is great. Shut up.
No, absolutely not.
I think you remember like the Grim Reaper. In
Bogus Journey is fantastic.
Bonus Journey is not even come close to what one was.
Oh, well, okay. I will say this. The future designs in Bogus Journey suck. The future looks better designed in the second one. Whoever decided to do the designs in the second one, they need to be horsewhipped because they look bad. They're wearing like foam shoes and stuff. I'm like, what? But the second one's hilarious. I mean, they're going around the afterlife and just again, the film is just loaded with all these one-liners. I love when they're in hell, and I was holding off to talk about the sequel, but since we're talking about it, they're in hell, and what's his name? Ted is like, this is not what I imagined this place to look like at all. And Bill's like, yeah, we got totally lied to by our album covers.
Which one? That was the third one?
No, that's the second one. Bogus Journey. Bogus Journey is great. And then at the end, they finally save the world. That's why I was upset at the third one, because they retconned it, where the second one ends with they finally learn how to play and they win this Battle of the Bands competition.
Yeah.
And by that, they get a record deal. And you see all these newspaper clippings that peace in the Middle East was achieved, new growths of crops. People were going back to the moon, all sorts of stuff that was just improving. And then you find out in 3, they retconned it to where they were basically just a one-hit wonder. And I was like, no. That totally changes what the ending of the second one was. Because that was the whole point, is that they finally had achieved what it was they were supposed to do. So yeah, that really bothered me. But yeah, the second one, I love the second one too. When they're there in hell, they're in their own personal hell. And so everything is geared towards stuff that they hate or whatnot. And they actually go to Colonel Oates military school in one of the rooms of hell. And they're sitting there. He tells them to drop and do infinity push-ups. Yeah. And as they're like on number 3. And and Bill's like, I don't think we can do infinity push-ups. And Ted's like, maybe he'll let us do them girly style. You know?
Oh my God.
It's freaking great. But on the first one, like I said, I like the design of the future. This is what I was going to ask. When they go to the future and they talked about that they were playing the most excellent music there. Yeah. That was supposed to be them playing. That was supposed to be their music, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because that's the way I always interpreted it. They never say it, but I always interpreted it that was their music.
Huh. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, neither did I. Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great scene, the future sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene.
When they're all singing.
Oh, and then, like I said, some of the characters.
Yeah.
Josh, you were talking earlier about Napoleon.
Oh,
Napoleon's
my God,
hilarious
he
in
was
this thing.
Yeah, he's great.
Like,
Napoleon.
I was telling Josh that my two favorite parts with him, because he's got a lot of good ones. You know, where he's eating the ice cream, he's got it all over his face, or he's going down the water slides. and stuff.
Ziggy Piggy.
But there's two little parts that I like with him. The first is when they get to France, and they see Napoleon, and they're like, "Hey, hey!" and they're screaming at him. He's just looking at him with the telescope, or the telescope, and he's just like, blow him up." Like, blow him up.
Yeah.
And then later, when he's in the car with Missy by himself, well, Bill and Ted are figuring out how to break into the police station. You see him inching closer to Missy.
I love how when he goes to the water park, it was probably Raging Waters, and he the whole time he's in his uniform.
Yeah,
But when he gets to the park, he's in like that very old like bathing suit, which
that's great.
And I love it. He's taking the little kids and putting them out of the way so he can go
Yeah.
first.
and he gets pushed down at the beginning, and then he like ends up loving it.
Yeah, when he gets down the slide, he could not be more thrilled with life.
Oh,
It's so good.
Wow.
Oh, an example of another line that is so great is when they go back to ancient Greece and they're like, "Hey, look, that's Socrates. We talked about him. Yeah, he's in our book. It's under Socrates."
That's so good. I loved Abraham Lincoln. Force
Yeah,
Lincoln was great, too.
That was great. Yeah, Genghis Khan in the sports equipment store.
With the baseball bat.
Yeah, tremendous.
The other scene I think it's great is when Socrates and Billy the Kid are hitting on those two ladies.
I love Billy the Kid.
And they're like, "We're from history." And then Sigmund Freud comes up and he's like, "You can call me Siggy."
And
You
Bill
know
was
what, though? I'll tell you this: there are elements of this movie that you can't make nowadays.
It's true.
no, him shooting the lights, Billy the Kid.
No,
shooting
not even there. Okay, so the scene where he thinks Ted is dead, and what's it called? When he finds out that he's alive, he's like, "Ted, you're alive." "Yeah, I fell out of my suit before."
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they hug each other and then
Yeah.
push each other off, and they look at each other and they're like, they utter a derogatory slur there.
Oh yeah. They
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I went blank for a minute, but I'm like, now I know why you went blank.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying not to get us tagged
Yeah,
on
that's,
anything.
that's we gotta
But
keep this
but
going.
you couldn't have that in there. In fact, if you
No.
watch if they show it on TV, they always edit that out, or they'll replace it with "fool" or something like that. It's the same thing in the second film when the bad robot or the robot Bill and Ted, the bad robot Bill and Ted are gonna kill Bill and Ted. They're like, "We got to do something, dudes. Even though you're doing this, we love you." And the two robots are like,
Yeah.
they throw them off the cliff.
Yeah.
But same thing, they edit that out on the TV version. You can't have those in today's movie. That's why I say, in a lot of ways, these are films that are very much a product of their time,
Yep.
which they're hilarious. Also, what's it called? Not only are they a product of their time, but the special effects, match the time. The costume designs, the music, everything about it is screams 80s, early 90s. I mean,
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
You've been to San Dimas, right, Josh?
No, I've never been to San
Really?
Waters. No,
If you
I passed it.
Bob, if you ever go down to the Valley in LA, you'll know exactly why that was filmed there.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I get
You'll know exactly why that was filmed there.
yeah.
What was
All
that?
right.
I passed by it several times. Like, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know.
Oh yeah, totally get it. Yeah, it's funny. Same with Encino Man.
Yes, that's
Was that
exactly
filmed
right.
there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
No, that was filmed in, I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be Encino,
No,
but
it was somewhere in the valley.
yeah, it's
It
definitely
was
the
in
valley.
Encino. What are we talking about?
Yeah. No,
It's
they
the
had to
valley. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to ask because, like for example, Superman and Lois, or not Superman and Lois, Smallville. It's taking place in Kansas, but they're filming in Vancouver.
I know.
It's
It's
like,
not true. No, then I
That's
don't know where they filmed in terms of that because other stuff, yeah, it just varies.
They filmed it somewhere in the valley. You can tell.
okay.
I mean, they for sure filmed Karate Kid in the Valley and even
Yes, they
Cobra
did.
Kai and all that stuff. That was all filmed here.
Yeah.
That was
the
all
one that
2
could not
minutes for me probably right now. 2 minutes.
probably.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy. All right. Well, really fun. I was talking to someone today where I said, "Oh God, another movie that I thought of that I loved." I don't know if you guys would have liked it. Any of the Steven Seagal movies like Out for Justice, Marked for Death?
Oh,
There's a lot of good ones.
there's a great. There's a
I
there's
thought about some of
several
those.
great
Also.
ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? For something like that, we got to do like a look back at like 80s action movies or something.
80s and 90s action movies.
Or-
Wesley
Because there,
Snipes shall not be forgotten.
yeah, because there are some good ones there. Like, think about the Van Damme movies.
What? I was
Bloodsport,
saying
Bloodsport,
Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's it called? Stallone's movies, Over the Top.
Oh, it's so good.
Rambo 2. I'm not going to say Rambo 1 because Rambo 1 was actually more of a drama than it was an action movie, but like Rambo 2 or Commando.
I was
with,
going to go to Commando.
Okay, Commando. That's one that we got to watch. Josh has never seen Commando.
No,
Oh,
I've not.
gosh.
I've not seen Commando.
It doesn't have Marvel or Star
How
Wars.
big is
stuff.
your laundry list of stuff you have to watch right now?
I've
No.
seen all of the Rambos. What are you talking about? All of Star Wars
How
and
have you
Marvel.
not seen Commando? I mean, that's
I
one of
haven't-
Schwarzenegger's greatest ones. It is
It's
so bad
tremendous.
that it's so good.
It's great.
I love how I don't want to say anything about it because that is one to watch for us to talk about on this show. That is a dad movie.
It is definitely no, Josh. You have to. You know what? We'll make that a homework assignment. One
Yeah,
day.
we'll plan for that one because
Is
that's
on
one to talk
streaming?
about.
Is that on
I'll look it up and we'll plan it, that one out.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, very good. Lots of fun.
Bill and Ted is great.
Yeah.
So
It,
love
good.
that movie.
it stands the test of time, folks.
It does. Definitely.
It's a
Go
good
see it
choice.
if you haven't seen it.
Yep.
All right, Bob, let's go on to our next thing.
Yeah.
So, as you know, we have been doing fantasy football. Dad's turn to talk. We are on week 7 for the NFL. And Bob, why don't we go ahead and check out what happened this past week?
Do we have to?
Whatever you want.
All right. I guess we're gonna get into this. All right. Going into this week, we were tied at 2 apiece, and unfortunately, things did not go well for Derek and I.
You bunch of losers!
That doesn't get old either. That's
No, it doesn't. That's really good.
all right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's recap our scores. Here's Derek.
Wait, what does it say?
USC and the Dolphins still lost. Josh, first place this week, last in life.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to be calm. I'm calm. It's okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, Derek, you got unlucky because he got hurt.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard didn't do very well. Jalen Wright, I know what you were thinking there. It just didn't work out. Jefferson was a great play for you. But when you spend that much to get him, you do hope for more than 21 points. You're hoping for
Yeah,
like
you
30.
do.
AJ Brown, same thing. He got under 20. Mitchell didn't do too well. Schultz, not too well. Mo Alley Cox, that was just, I know, because you were out of money. Your Bills at 3,500. Your total score was 80.84. At least you didn't end up with the low score for the season. Final verdict. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Yep, that sounds about right.
All right. On to me.
Yes, let's see yours, Bob.
That's the angriest I've ever seen, Bob.
Yeah, look how mad you got.
I was angry.
Couldn't even
Yeah.
break 100. Wow.
Shut up, Josh.
Yep.
I went with Geno Smith because I really thought well of that Seattle-Atlanta game. And Seattle did put up a lot of points, so I went with Geno Smith. Did partner him up with one of his receivers, had Kyle Pitts coming back the other way. Pitts did well, 13.5. Metcalf, he was okay with 19.9. Pollard was a big disappointment, especially because he was supposed to be the only running back, or not the only one, but Tajay Spears was out. Chase Brown didn't do too well. McLaurin, he surprisingly did okay once Daniels went out. He didn't kill me. I would have liked one more catch so he could have gotten that 100-yard bonus. Same thing with Metcalf. If he had got one more catch and got that bonus for me, that'd have been good. Deontay Johnson was a real letdown because Dalton was bad. Where I got really upset was that I got Sean McVay, who said that Jordan Whittington was going to be active and who had gotten 18 targets the 2 previous games. And sure enough, he didn't even play, despite the fact that he was active. So my final score was 89.48. Final verdict. You said you were going to win fantasy football this year. The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Mhm.
Really, Josh?
Maryland and the Colts. Okay, it's fine.
Look at it. You know he wants to say something.
Yeah, he does. He wants to say something bad too.
I'm not saying anything.
Stop whining.
I'm not whining. You know what, Bob? Your team has lost too.
Here we
You're not
go.
gonna have your mommy stand behind you anymore and wipe your little tushes.
I'm just basking in the glory of winning.
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble have to go to the bathroom. There is no bathroom.
All right, on to our winner for the week. All right, Josh, you also got on. Oh,
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Wow.
all right, so Jaden Daniels, again, you got unlucky. Great play with Kareem Hunt. I really liked that play.
Thank you.
Bijan Robinson, to be honest, I was surprised at that. Not because I knew he couldn't get there, but I was surprised because I was expecting it to be a Kirk Cousins game. I thought it was going to be a shootout, passing both ways. That's the way I saw the game going. Ayuk, you got unlucky. Same thing. You know, he got hurt.
He's gone.
Tyreek Hill, you probably shouldn't play him until Tua's back.
Which is this week.
Shakir, you got lucky with Shakir. The reason why I say that is because he got like 5 passes like on the very last drive. That's where he put up all of his points. So, I mean, that was good for you. Njoku, great play.
Yep.
I had actually wanted to play him too. I just couldn't fit him with the way I built my lineup. And then with Hill from Miami, 1.4 just to kind of close it out. Great job with the Rams defense going up against Las Vegas. A final score, 115.94. Final verdict. Here in fantasy football, I'm better than you, and I know it.
Got a cold.
All
over
right,
here?
so our leaderboard, Josh, it actually hasn't updated yet. Unfortunately, it's not going to update until probably tomorrow. So you'll actually see yours at that point. You'll actually be up 3, and both Derek and I have 2 wins apiece.
Nice.
Are we done here?
Jeez, Josh. You know he wants to say it.
I told you I'm fine.
You're not gonna have your mommy stand behind you anymore and wipe your little tushes.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep saying it. I'm good. I'm good. I told you, Bob. I told you. I
Uh,
can handle it. You didn't want to believe me.
oh no, he's not.
No,
he's
you're
already
lying.
been
You're lying,
gloating.
Josh. You're completely lying
Um,
right now.
All right.
Do you have any idea how much you need to go to the bathroom right now because of your anger?
Not at all, Derek.
Well, no.
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. There is no bathroom.
It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's go on to our final segment of the night.
No.
All right.
All right. So this was actually Derek's idea, which I thought was an excellent idea, and couldn't believe how many themes I had remembered. Your top 5 favorite wrestling themes. So you're watching wrestling, and all of a sudden that music hits, and the crowd goes crazy, and you're excited. This is going to be interesting. All right. So it's top 5, just no order, right?
I've got mine in order. So
I do too, but it's okay. So let's go ahead,
Make-
gentlemen, and
for
start.
honorable mentions first.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Honorable mention. Derek, why don't you start since you came up with this?
All right. I'll give a shout out to, I don't know why, but I've always been a fan of the Hardy Boys music.
Okay.
It's for some odd reason, it's incredibly catchy. And I don't know why, but I can always like just start rocking out to it. It just, you listen to those songs and you're just like, dang. So I'm not going to put it on my top 5, but I do give it an honorable mention just because it's a catchy one. It's very, very good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's all that you guys want to do. You list yours, or how are we doing this?
All
Yeah,
right.
we'll just go around. Okay, Bob, yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, did you have another honorable mention?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, go ahead.
Um,
Give your
We'll
honorable
do
mentions.
all the honorable mentions.
Yeah, do all your honorable mentions.
If you just want two, I'll give you the second. Triple H's Motorhead theme is awesome. that's one that never gets old to me. I
Which
love
one
that
is
every.
that? Is that the King of Kings or is that the game?
Oh, it's the first one. Time to play the game.
Okay, so the game. Yeah.
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah. That's another one that if you need to go to the gym and you really want to work out, that's the song you listen to. It's so good. Big fan of that one. I'll just leave it at 2. I'll leave it at those 2. To you, Johnson.
Okay. All right, Bob, what do you like?
All right. So there are tons that
No.
I would love to have put in my
True.
honorable
There's a
mention.
lot.
The Rock's electrifying theme,
A
the
really good
DX
one.
theme, the NWO theme, the game, the other side for the Judgment Day, the Rising Sun for Shinsuke Nakamura. There were even two by the ladies that I would have that would probably make my top 10, top 15, and that was the Future for Asuka. Even her new one I think is kind of cool too.
Oh, nice.
And then Free the Flame for Ember Moon. I liked that one.
Good one.
But my 2 honorable mentions, I gotta say, first off, No Chance in Hell. Vince McMahon
Wow.
or Mr. McMahon.
Mr.
Exactly.
That is a perfect song for that character. When it hit, people boo. I mean, the whole atmosphere of the room or the arena would change when that would hit that music. So I got to give that one a shout out, and I got to give Voodoo Child.
Oh yeah,
For
that was
Hollywood
great.
Hulk Hogan.
That would be your top 5, Bob.
I wanted to put it in my top 5, but I've got it at number 6.
Okay.
It is a fantastic theme for Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I would, anytime that theme would hit, you know, I'd be sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, and you see Hogan come out, you know, playing the belt as if it was a guitar, or even when he didn't have the belt, you know, playing the guitar. And the Hollywood and Voodoo Child worked well for Hollywood Hulk Hogan, whether he was heel Hollywood Hulk Hogan or he was face Hollywood Hulk Hogan, it was good for that version of Hulk Hogan. Plus, it's Jimi Hendrix. Can't go wrong there. So Voodoo Child was my other honorable mention.
Okay.
Good one.
Bob, I forgot all about Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's a good
I
theme.
love
Right,
that.
so that's a good
I
theme.
want to put it as like a third honorable mention. I
And
guess.
when that theme hits, you're wanting to go.
Oh, I know. Just like
Yeah.
when he debuted in NXT against Sami Zayn, and people went crazy.
It's so epic.
It was so good. All right. So my first honorable mention, I'll say, as much as I want to say Nakamura's, Randy Savage's Pomp and Circumstance.
Okay.
When that music hit, you knew it was Randy Savage. And you'll never get that really again. I think Jay Lethal has kind of like a mixed one, right, Derek? That kind of adds a little.
It's not. I wouldn't. No.
Right.
Yeah.
But nothing was like Savage. The minute that music hit and Elizabeth came down the aisle with Savage and he had the robe and everyone went crazy. And you knew it was Randy Savage. You knew it. And even going on, people who would graduate and they play that music, they try to imitate, Randy Savage and stuff. So that's one of mine. And then the other is a newer one. I love Cody's theme song.
A lot of people like his song a lot.
I think it, and my daughter loves it. And so I've got kind of a, heart for that. And just, she loves, it's such a good song. And it fits him. And even when it starts, wrestling has more than one royal family, and then it hits. And so yeah, those are my two.
No, it doesn't. It only has one
honorable mention. Yes, we knew yours. But I'm excited to go through my other five because my other five are very old school.
I'll give you two more if it's okay. Just to mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of old school, I can't get enough of the $1 Million Man theme.
Oh, I forgot. You're right.
That's really
money.
That is 80s wrestling to a T.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. It will bring you back to when you were a kid again. And speaking of the old school things, we're going to go shout out to the British Bulldog. That was some good stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, Bobo, go ahead and give us number 5.
Number 5, Cult of Personality, CM Punk.
Wow, really?
That's a great entrance theme.
But the top 5,
especially when he comes out in Chicago.
Yeah.
When that theme hits, go back to that return at Survivor Series. I know that was your favorite pay-per-view, Josh, because you were so happy to see his return.
I was.
When that theme hit and that crowd went crazy. I mean, that was perfect. I think Cult of Personality is an extremely good wrestling theme. It fits CM Punk very well. And yeah, that's my number 5.
All right, Derek.
I am actually going to start off with Edge.
I'm not surprised. You think you know me?
Well, see, Edge is actually. So here's the thing about Edge. Edge has had a few themes throughout his career, depending on which Edge you're talking about. But everybody now knows the Metalingus theme. That's
right.
Our Superstar theme is the one you know now. Although his Edge and Christian theme is really funny too. That's a great one. If you go back and listen to it, it's a very guilty pleasure of mine. But that song's actually become more epic than him, because whenever you hear it, you can't help but sing now, and that is all he is known by. When that song hits, it's him. He even had to bring it with him to AEW. That's how big that song is for him. And it's a good song. It's catchy. It's a good. It's perfect for him. It's a perfect rated R Superstar theme. It fits the bill.
Mine are so funny. Mine are just funny. I could add one to everyone. Derek, you're going to know all of them.
Number 5, Kurt Angle from TNA.
No. How about number 5, Akeem, the African Dream?
That's
Are
slick.
you kidding me?
That's not Akeem.
That's not Akeem. A sideshow, bro. A sideshow,
That's
bro.
slick. That's not Akeem.
I still loved it.
Okay, but call it what it is. That's
Okay,
Jive Soul
fine.
Bro for Slick.
Okay,
Slick
Sideshow
sings
Joe.
it.
Slick, but when he managed Akeem,
It's his
right?
song. Slick, it's Slick's song.
It was just so funny. I mean, how good was Akeem? You had him as a one-man gang, and then next thing you know, he turns into the African Dream, and he's got the boombox, and you got Slick doing the music. I loved it. Love
So
it.
Josh's
That's
number
show.
5 is the Pimp Manager song from the 80s. Who, by the way, real life Reverend. That's a true story.
I know it is true. It is true. Yeah. So that's mine. I told you,
Oh,
mine are very
Lord.
random. All right, Bob. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is actually 2, but for the same superstar.
Oh.
So, the head of the table.
No, really? With
The
all
head of the table. Okay, so first off, that theme is perfect for Roman's heel character. It was perfect, and when it would hit, everybody just lifting up their arms and getting into it. Now, flip that with the newer version of it, I Am Greatness, which is a variation of the same theme, but is for the face version of this Roman Reigns. Because
Wow.
he's playing the same character. He's just now a face, but he is the same character. It's not like he went back to the Roman Reigns that was before when they were trying to push him as a face. No,
Yeah.
he's still the head of the table. He's still the tribal chief. That's the character he's playing. It's just the face version. So the head of the table and I Am Greatness, when those hit and Roman comes out, I've said it before, this is Roman's company right now. It still is. Yes, I get it. Cody's the big merchandise seller, and he's the one kind of, is the main eventer and whatnot. But when Roman walks out, that crowd is putty in his hands. When the other night, when SmackDown hit, or when Jimmy was speaking, and Roman's music hit, again, the whole atmosphere of everything just changed when Roman came out, and that crowd was just putty in his hands. He has come such a long way, and those themes, which again are just variations of the same theme, are perfect for the head of the table tribal chief character. So that's my number 4, and I actually like listening to the newer version of it. I think that's cool.
Dude, the newer version, if you listen to it in your car and you get to a stoplight, I have done this now like a couple of times where I close my eyes and I just breathe in. Like you feel so epic when you listen to it.
I gotta listen.
That's a great word for it. It's epic, and because it's epic, it's perfect for Roman Reigns, because again, Reigns has been carrying that company for the last 4 years, and he is still this character. I think the best way I can describe it, it's almost like when Ultimate Warrior won the belt and Hulk Hogan was still there. Hulk Hogan was still on top of his game when Warrior won the belt. Roman is still on top of his game. Yeah. It's not like he passed the torch here. He's still on top of his game. Now I think Cody's is a much better champion than, say, Warrior was. I'm not saying that that's exactly the same. But what I mean is it wasn't a passing of the torch, because Roman is still on the top of his game. In my mind, he's still the biggest draw in WWE.
That's still the best story too. That story's not near done yet.
By the way, guys, I hate to do. We have some breaking news on the show. Something just popped up. Dodger pitcher Fernando Valenzuela passed away.
Sorry.
At 63 years old, 1988. Yeah, sorry. It just popped up, and I know we've with baseball around the corner.
There's a whole conversation we need to have about baseball in general on this program too.
We can talk once we get a World Series champ. What we thought about the series.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, Derek. Who's yours?
Well, you already ruined it, because. Woo, yeah.
Oh, really? He made your top 5.
Yeah. Oh, dude, his theme was the best. Now, my dad, who hated wrestling, absolutely hated whenever I watched it, even he heard that and he was like, "Is that Macho Man?" He got excited.
I could see that.
And like for 80s wrestling, we just talked about how Roman's theme is epic.
Yeah.
But for 80s wrestling, that I thought that, I mean, I don't even have Ric Flair on my list. I'll fess up to that.
I know. I thought about.
But that theme, and you could even make Ric Flair like for case for that those are both epic 80s wrestling themes.
You're not wrong.
I mean, they like to this day when you hear the Macho Man's theme song, you want to do the come on, you know what I'm doing.
Yep.
Like you got to do it. And it's great. And you think with a guy like that who talks like that and like wears those outfits, like I'm not expecting that music to hit.
I know.
But I'm so glad when it does. It's great.
So
It's fantastic.
all right. Another 80s guy for me, the Big Boss Man. Remember that theme song? Have you ever taken a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia? And when that music hit, people went nuts for him. Are you kidding me? Why are you guys so upset?
Josh, I want you to think about what's happened so far, okay?
Wrestling theme songs.
Yes, and you have mentioned Slick and the Big Boss Man.
Yes. My other ones are just as good.
Oh, can't wait.
That's
You want-
cute. How old are you, kid? 11? 12?
You want me to say Stone Cold Steve Austin? Fine. Here, fine. I'll replace it.
No. These are your
No.
favorite. These are your favorite. I
Okay,
just
Tony, pick your favorite and say I always sing the Boss Man song. It's got to be ones that
Sure
you
you
enjoy. Bobby's picking ones from now. He likes his.
Number 3, the model Rick Martel.
Darn it. No, not really. Number 3 is more Attitude Era. But all right, Derek, what's your number 3?
Well, you kind of gave me you called me this and Teddy did. So the guy that you named me after, Chris Jericho?
Oh yeah.
good theme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an awesome theme song.
Break down the walls of Jericho.
Now we are talking about the walls of Jericho. We're not
Yes,
talking
Kid
about
Rock.
we're not talking
Yeah.
about his AEW theme,
No,
theme
Kid
right?
Rock.
No.
Even
Okay.
I know that.
We're talking his actual wrestling theme,
Yeah.
not
And
his
like,
sideshow
like-
theme.
That's very nice, Bob.
Yes. I want to put up the clock. I want the clock to count down, and then I want the pyro to go off, and that's a theme and a half. I love that theme. And it still holds up too. Like it's excellent. Very, very good.
Okay. All right, Bob, what's yours?
Hey Josh, pull your camera down just a little bit. There you go. All right. For number 3 for me is I won't do what you tell me. Stone Cold Steve Austin. When that glass breaking hit, boy, did that audience go
Lost
crazy.
their minds. Yep.
and it's perfect for the Steve Austin character. As he was walking in and then you'd go from turnbuckle to turnbuckle. It was just perfect for him. And that's my number 3.
All right, Derrico.
All right. Well, I went, didn't I? I gave my number 3.
Your
Oh.
turn, Josh.
Yeah. Mine was
Mine
Jericho.
exemplify the Attitude Era, not The Rock, not Stone Cold. How about Val Venus? The hello.
Okay, first off, it's funny that you say that because I
Yeah.
was going to joke around and say that was my number 1.
That's funny. I mean, how did you not love it? And the video, the Titantron that had all the
No, I know why you loved it.
weird
Yeah.
stuff, and then him pointing around the shower curtain. And come on, when he came
Yes,
out,
this is the list of bad wrestling themes that we all love. That's what this list is.
Wait a minute. Let's get something straight. If Bob had said that, okay, he just said wrestling themes, and it's whoever I want.
Right, but this list is, I'm telling you, the list that you are making right now is bad wrestling themes that you love.
Yeah, okay. I love it. Come on, Derek. You love Val
I
Venus.
mean, it was hilarious. I didn't. It's nowhere near my.
Come on.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
just the
gonna
fact that he won't watch certain movies and stuff, that should tell you everything you need to know about where his wrestling list is going to go.
Oh God, no! What would you want me to do? The Rock, Stone Cold. I wanted to think outside the box here.
Stop whining.
You're not going to make me crack, Bob. I know you want to so bad. I'm proving a point here.
You're not proving any point. Be yourself.
win at all.
Gosh.
In a point. All right, go
Zero.
ahead. Number 2.
Zero. None.
Okay, so Val Venus, number 3. Okay, like I said, Josh, these are your themes. I mean, they're bad, but okay.
They are.
Hakeem, the
Number
African
2, Bob.
Dream,
We're
the
on.
Big
Yeah,
Boss Man, Val Venus. God.
Jesus.
It's awesome. It's incredible. I stick by them.
Aldo Montoya, number 1.
No, my number 2. Should I go first this time?
No, you're the moderator.
Fine. Go, Bob.
All right, my number 2, rest in peace, The Undertaker.
All right.
And-
Thank you. You can skip me because that was my number 2.
That was your number 2? Okay, so I mean, when that bell tolls, again, this is a case where the whole atmosphere of everything changes.
It does.
It's perfect for the dead man character. I'll let you talk a little bit about it, Derek. That's my number 2.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say I've had a chance to see him come out live with that theme, and I will admit it does get colder. It
Really?
does. Yes, the lights turn off and the purple shows up. It does not feel the same. They're
That's cool.
chill in the air. And it's epic in a different way. This is a theme that is epic, but for much different reasons than everything else. Because there's you want to feel some type of prosperity when you think about the characters, but with this you do not. You think about the end. That's it.
Hold on, Derek. Josh, is there something wrong with the soda?
No, why?
Because every drink he takes, he's going.
I'm tasting it. It tastes really good.
I'm like, are you chewing it? I mean, is there something there?
No, I'm
just asking because I'm like, you were.
so good. My zero sugar Mountain Dew. Simply the best.
Oh, I felt like Terrence Stamp. He's like, is there something wrong with the coffee? Why'd you make a face?
It was a.
I've burped up stuff better than this.
No, he's gonna take him so long.
There you go. I made it break.
There it is. Now he can't do it anymore.
Made it break.
Oh my God.
No, I'm serious. He just kept going. So I was thinking, is it flat? Is it? Is there something wrong with
No,
it? You just kept making this face, and I'm like,
Oh no, it's just the one thing. It tastes good. I don't
he's
do it.
savoring it. So he's going.
It's really gross and awkward yet again. All right. It's like Val Venus.
That was
free. Jesus. All right.
But I can't say anything. Maybe I do the same thing. I hadn't
don't
noticed
know.
you do that before, and then I was just like, is there something wrong with it?
No, I was tasting it. I was kind of like, oh, it's really good.
Okay. Yeah, it's so good. He's going.
Yeah, you enjoy that.
Anything else?
Okay, go ahead, Derek. But I'm sorry, that just distracted me so bad.
No, it's all right. I see now. I gotta get my brain back together here. The Undertaker is. Look at your pinky up in the air. Weird.
Well, I did pick Val Venus, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's not where my mind needed to go. Okay. Anyway.
Now we know why he's going.
The Undertaker's music is also timeless. You can still listen to it and it'll hold up. There is something very old school Western about it,
Yeah.
and that's a really cool part of it too. He had a bunch of different renditions of it too as he went through. He had a different Attitude Era one, but you always go back to the old one. Always.
Yeah.
And even the old one had slight variations of it, like an extra gong or bell tolling or something like that, a lightning sound or something. But essentially they're all the same. Most of them are a variation of that second theme he had when he came back and he did the Undertaker versus Undertaker match.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He had to be
because that one was different from his original theme.
Mm-hmm. He always come back to that's how he went out, in his career, was with that song. And not to mention the fact that the entrance is perfect to match the song. That smoke that comes up with that fire.
Oh, I love it.
Like lights dim. That is perfect. Absolutely on point. So yeah, hats off, Bob. Great choice for number 2, obviously. Thank you, Taker.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2, Demolition. No?
That's
better
not
than your
bad.
other. I mean, it's better than your other ones.
I mean, Demolition, when they came out, here comes the axe, here comes the smasher, and they came out with the mask on and walking. And, at first when they were heels, they had it as heels and people, would boo them. But when they were faces and that music hit, oh my God, it was so good. And then when they would take the masks off and they had the face paint and, it was Vince McMahon's way to compete with the Road Warriors. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but
they were the Walmart version of the Road Warriors.
Yeah, because he wanted the Road Warriors,
but they were a good Walmart version because they were good. They were fun wrestlers. I loved Demolition.
They were,
and then they got the real Road Warriors.
I don't know why they won't go in the Hall of Fame. Like, I think they've been asked and they won't do it for some reason.
No, they've gone in.
No, Demolition.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Road Warriors.
No, Road Warriors are in. Demolition is not.
Oh, that is weird. I hope they will. They will one day.
And and putting them together, because originally the one who played Axe was one of the Super Machines.
Bill Eaton.
Yeah, and then Smash, who was in NWA with Nikita Koloff, he came in, but they had somebody else, and then Smash came in and took the place. Yes. But yeah, that music, when that hit, it was such a unique theme song and people loved it. So that's my number 2. All right, Derek, give us your number 1 now.
Real quick. I'm just curious here.
Yeah.
Is it possible we all have the same number 1?
No, I already know that it's not.
Bob?
Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead, Derek.
Well, mine was taken because Bob mentioned my number 1 already. So my number 1 was going to be Stone Cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, dude, to this day, I have never heard a crowd cheer that loud.
That's true.
I mean, that's not true. I've only heard it one other time, and that was with The Rock when his music hit. That's the only other time I've heard a pop like that. But in his day, when that glass broke, it was on. It was fantastic.
You're right.
Like, and it got to a point like where your ears would ring because people were going like out of control. So I always have that audio of the arena, like the people completely losing their minds in my ears as well.
Yeah.
And Bob's right. It fit him perfectly. And then you forget, like, afterwards when he would like get the beers and just start toasting them and downing them, and people would just be losing their minds. It was a blast. It still is a blast. If he did it again, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah. All right, Bob, you want to go on the count of 3 and see if we have the same one?
I'm sure we have the same one, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's Real American for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
But specifically, I like the single mix version of the song. It's got a slight variation on it from the one that WWE releases nowadays.
No, you're talking about the original one, the 1987. Yeah,
it's got a slight variation on the music, and that is my favorite version of Real American. Derek says that you've never heard a crowd go off like that. I'm sure the crowds in the 80s did that as well, but sound is better than what it is now. So they've captured that crowd response a lot better later on, because I'll tell you, when Hulk's music hit and that crowd would go nuts,
They would go
and he comes out and he's all pumped up and swinging around,
Absolutely.
and
sure.
you know, he's got the 24-inch pythons just pumping, and the crowd is just going nuts. He's gets up to the apron and he's, you know, it was perfect. He rips off the shirt, and equally that song was just as good when he was celebrating after a victory, because you know, he'd be flexing. Depending on what was going on in the world, he might be waving the American flag. So it was perfect for the Hulk Hogan character and what the character represented. Very much a product of the 80s, early 90s. It is very Americana, and the song fit him perfectly. So my number one choice is Real American. But again, my favorite version is the single mix.
I knew it. I had a feeling it was going to be one of the two of you, if not both. So that's completely understandable.
Yeah, same here. Real American, number one for me. Nothing like when that music hit in the 80s and Hulk Hogan came out and people went ballistic. And
that's still a feel-good song. Like, you can listen to it now, and it still kind of pumps you up and makes you feel good. Like, you walk away after listening to that song. What's that?
I play it on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I mean, you turn around and you're smiling after you hear that song. So,
what was his theme song before that?
I think he used Eye of the Tiger.
Did he use Eye of the Tiger?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which again fit because he was in Rocky 3. So
right, exactly. But yeah, there was nothing like that song, and I don't know. It would be very interesting, Derek. Who would have had a louder pop? Was it Hogan or Austin?
Different pops. Different pops for different reasons.
Yeah, because you had that glass break with Austin, which was so epic.
They're also different eras, and
right.
The audience was very different, because a big part of the audience for Hulk Hogan in the 80s, a lot of them were kids. Well, those kids grew up, and when they grew up, you know, and times changed, and you had grunge, you know, and anti-establishment and all this stuff. That's why the Austin character was so perfect. That's why I say Hulk Hogan turning heel was one of the best things that ever happened, not just to his career, but to wrestling, period, because that's what forced the WWE to have to respond. That's why we have a Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's why we have a Rock, because they had to do something to compete. And you had the Attitude Era in response to that move that WCW did. So, you know, and Stone Cold was the perfect torchbearer for that era of the Attitude. I mean, his character was everything that you wanted, and he had the perfect heel.
Yep, it's true.
And then as a wrestling heel that he had, The Rock was his wrestling heel that he would face.
That was the thing. He needed both. He really did need both. He needed the boss that he could, you know, stick it to, but the boss couldn't always get in the ring, so he needed that guy too. He needed both. It's still, like, to this day, one of the best things they've ever done, ever.
Yeah. By the way, gentlemen, just to not changing the topic too much or the subject, but I finally got through the Montreal Screwjob with the McMahon documentary.
Yeah.
And it's basically the first time where Shawn Michaels lied. He admitted that him and Triple H had to say.
He's admitted that before.
I had not heard that. I had not heard that.
He's
admitted it before. He
made him lie.
Yeah, he's admitted it before, but I will say this. I mean, it was in that episode is interesting only because you do see a lot more of the backstage stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, that we're not used to.
Right.
But I mean, I'm also over that. It's just like, okay, dude, this happened. Like,
what I did like about the episode, and I mentioned this to Josh, is that it starts off where he's did the same thing to a woman champ. What was her name again?
Wendy Richter.
Yeah, Wendy Richter.
Yeah,
and
put her over.
it established that he had no problems
No,
doing this. And to be honest, I understand why he did it. I mean, you don't want your champ going to another show without
right.
having lost the title.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean,
It's his hardware, man.
Yeah.
I know. Well, according to Bret Hart, he had gone up to Sean and was trying to bury the hatchet right before this all happened. I want to say about a week before. And Sean basically said some sort of derogatory statement to Bret. And that's when Bret decided, I'm not giving up the
Oh,
title.
yeah, I'm not going to do the
that
job.
was there were 3 people responsible for that. One was Bret, the second was Sean, the third was Vince.
Yeah, you're
that's
right. Hey, I will always agree with that. Like, I think something like that, the whole thing was a mess.
Mhm.
I think, I don't know, Bret should not have, he should have just been gone then. He should have said, let me just lose the title that Friday night at a house show, or Saturday night, I think they were at Madison Square Garden, and just be done with it, but then, Vince, I mean, we heard Vince say that, okay, we'll just have a run in, or what did they say? It was supposed to be a
It was
brawl.
going to be a DQ supposedly, or at least that's what Bret thought. He was going to lose the match by DQ,
and then
that way Sean could win, but he doesn't lose the title. And supposedly he was going to give it up, or they could just do a tournament for it or something like that.
Right.
That's what he thought was going to happen. But Vince was like, no, that ain't going to happen. I ain't going to let that happen. And I don't blame him.
Right.
Well,
but I thought Vince agreed to that at first. Didn't it show in the background Vince talking to Bret and saying, okay, we'll do whatever, we'll do that? And then Vince,
he just said that to him to make him happy. He had the full intention to take it off of him because he kept trying to get Bret to do the job.
right.
And Bret was refusing.
Kept making excuses too.
Right.
I'm not losing in Canada.
Yeah, that was
That's, okay. I won't lose in the Bay Area either then. Okay. Or you know what? No, let's take it one step further. I won't lose in America.
Yeah. So
no,
anyway,
if you go to Mexico, I'll do the job.
yeah.
Get out of here
But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. And but anyway. All right, gentlemen. Well, what a show tonight. Let's wrap up like we always do. Bob, where can we find you?
Find me over on my YouTube channel. Was it good? Best way to find me, search Bob Loves Movies, all one word. As usual, we'll put all of our social media in the description below. And you can also find me on Criticless and X.
Nice. Derico, where can we find you?
Well, now that we're talking about Hulk Hogan, now that I feel old, I will go with the old people over at LinkedIn and Facebook.
All right. And you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and LinkedIn. I am the family man of the Valley. I am a real estate agent here in Southern California. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, give me a call. And for that, gentlemen, another great show. Next week will be our Halloween show. Maybe we'll have some more surprises for you guys. With that said, have a great evening and good night.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody.